Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is video number 1 of 2. Yesterday was a one video day, today is back to being a 2 video day. So we are going to be doing the match review for Chelsea versus Brighton, and we've got tons to say. And then later on tonight, I will give you the latest in terms of what's popping off, not just at Chelsea, but elsewhere, all the news in the football world and my thoughts on it all. So if you do want to catch that and you want to make sure that you are notified for it, well, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell down below to be notified once I've uploaded. Social media links in the description as well as on screen for you right now, so check them out. Let's get cracking. I want to start off with this. We almost gave Brighton the battering that I was looking for. Almost, but we decided to be a little bit sloppy in defence towards the end, and we still managed to win, right? We got 4-3 on the night. I can't complain. Considering it was 4-1, and considering that, I mean, Brighton even were down to 10 men, and yeah, individual mistakes, you know, the penalty, for example, maybe being a little bit sloppy at the back to allow the third goal for Brighton. Yeah, you know, those things are avoidable. In relation to a possible weakness that we saw yesterday, before we get to the strengths, because there are many, right? There are many, and I'm very happy to come on and tell you there are many. In weaknesses, I think we need to, well, weirdly enough, in defence, last season, even statistically, it wasn't a disaster. We just weren't scoring goals. Now, it's like going forward looks absolutely... I can't express, you know, how beautiful it looks at this point. It's a work of art, right? And we're going to come to that. But defensively, I feel like we do need to work on that a little bit more. The dynamic of going to a back four, which is not what we've normally used for quite a few seasons now, I think with new personnel, is something that needs to be worked on. There's the whole debate about the goalkeeper as well. Kepa, personally, I don't think he could have done much about some of the situations he was in yesterday, especially the third goal for Brighton. I don't think he could have done anything in that scenario. It's more on the defence. But that's the whole point. Defensively, I feel like we could be a bit tighter. I feel like the build-up can be a little bit quicker. But that's pre-season. This is what it's for. We have to address those issues that arise. But the beautiful things, the wonderful things, I don't know where to start. Actually, you know what? Before we get into the individual players, can we just focus on the way that Chelsea play their football now? The way we attack, the way we move the ball, the combinations, the runs, the movement. I didn't think we were capable of playing this type of football so early. I knew Chelsea were capable of playing that type of football, but not like this in pre-season. Some of the combinations, and not just the combinations, but in the way in order to beat certain phases, right? And the players that know exactly at what time to run, where to run into, what space to get into, and when to receive the ball, and the other players are on the same wavelength. Some of the movement and some of the patterns that we were seeing, I was in awe. I was in shock. I'm like, how are we doing this? How are we doing this? It's incredible. And it goes back to the point when people were trying to say, no, give Graham Potter time. No. This is why. When you have a competent manager that knows exactly what he's doing, this is what happens. And Chelsea are capable of playing like this. We have the personnel for it. And now, in terms of the business that we've done and the players we've got in, somehow it looks even better than we expected. It's incredible. And the goals speak for themselves. Brighton went 1-0 up. And a decent goal from Danny Welbeck. Managed to get it on the volley. Maybe shouldn't have been exposed to that space just inside the box. That's, again, a defensive mistake. And that is where I think the problems that we have that are arising are more defensive. It's just who's marking who. Are you tight enough? Are you reading the pattern that the opponent's coming with you at? Like, are you able to cut passes off? Those sort of things. That's something that we do need to work on, hence the Danny Welbeck goal. But we responded 5 minutes later, and that was absolutely wonderful. And Kunku getting on the score sheet with a tap-in, right? Bear in mind. But Again, the action that led to that moment, the way that we were able to get the ball in between the whole Brighton team and keep it. And this is something that I really want to focus on. Why? Because when it comes to being able to hold the ball and not lose it, that is a problem that Chelsea have had for ages. And this is why I wasn't against seeing a Mount leave, Havertz leave, all these guys that are leaving. I'm not fussed, right? Because we do need players that are able to keep the ball, retrieve the ball, run with the ball, keep the ball, don't lose the ball, get the ball to where you want to get it to. And what's mad is with some of these players that we look at and they're new and we're thinking, we don't really know much, they're very young, they all do it so well. Nicolas Jackson. I don't want to get too carried away. But what I will say is the sign so far is that of a striker that knows how to be a striker. That's just what and he was man of the match yesterday. That's just what I've got to say. He is absolutely wonderful, and it's on that point that I just mentioned. How many times have we seen a striker at Chelsea or any attacking player at Chelsea get the ball, they're with the ball, maybe they run into the wrong space, they lose the ball, they get dispossessed, they tackle, they hit a pass, it's a poor pass, it doesn't go to anyone. How many times? How efficient is Nicolas Jackson? It's beautiful. He's got like almost 100% success rate with everything that he wants to do on the ball. If he wants to pass it to a certain player, he gets it there. If he wants to run into a certain space and dribble past two, he does it. If he wants to pull off a shot, he does it. If he wants to score, he does it. That run that he made for his goal, which we're going to come to because that was the fourth goal. But, we're talking about Nicolas Jackson. Beautiful ball in. Fantastic through ball. And I love seeing direct football like this where it's direct, there's a through ball, it's a one over the top, it's beating the Italian team, it's beating a press, whatever it is, and then you're one-on-one or you're in on goal. And how many times have we seen a Chelsea player fluff it? You could debate, if that was Kai Havertz yesterday, for that Nicolas Jackson chance, he probably would have skied it. Or he would have hit it wide. Or he would have hit the goalkeeper. Why? Why are we saying that? Because we've lived that. We've seen many examples of a Havertz, for example, being in that situation and he bottles it. Jackson, perfect run, great timing, good strength, good speed, takes his time, picks a spot, sticks it there. Thank you very much. It's simple, yet not very easy. Do you know what I mean? And at Chelsea, anyway. But we're starting to see it, and I'm just so relieved. I'm so relieved, man. It's a complete relief. And it's not just Nicolas Jackson in terms of his goal scoring abilities, but we got to talk about that link up with Mudryk. I don't know what to say. That was champagne football at its finest. Is this why Tottenham fans say champagne football quite a lot? Or when they were with Poch, champagne football. Expressions is guilty for that. Yeah? Is this why? Let me tell you something. You're about to see an upgraded version. I don't believe Tottenham were playing like this. They were playing somewhat like this at times, but not like this. And this is pre-season. I can't wait to see the season now. Bring on Liverpool. That's how I'm feeling. Bring on Liverpool. It's absolutely fantastic. And when we talk about some of the other players in that team, it's the same names that we mentioned in the last game against Wrexham. But albeit that was Wrexham, this is Brighton. Brighton that set up pretty nicely. That were actually very good. I have to be honest, very good. They were brave. They were penetrative. They were trying to get chances off. They had more shots on target than us. They did create, and they were in the game, and they could have got something. But we had efficiency, man. And again, it's been so long since we've been able to say we have pure efficiency. We looked like killers yesterday, killers. But the one thing that is absolutely outstanding to me is just the combinations, the way that players combine, the way that they run for each other, they pass, they know they're on the same wavelength. It's 1-2 here, 1-2 here, 1-2 here. Sometimes it's a 1-2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's mental how Chelsea are able to play this fluid. It's so fluid, that's the word. It's fluent. Fluidity on 155 million %. It's crazy, and I love it. Absolutely love it. So there's that. We spoke about Nicolas Jackson. Mudryk. I have to speak about Mudryk. Albeit, just to give you guys context, because there were subs, but they weren't all made at the same time. like you tend to see in pre-season. There was the half-time where it was 1-1, and then we brought on Mudryk, Cucurella, Chalobah, and Caicedo. And later on in the game, 63rd minute, we brought on Enzo, Angelo Gabriel, Nicolas Jackson, and that's where everything shifted. From that point onward, it just changed. The entire game changed, and we got to see Enzo combine with those new lads around him as well. Angelo Gabriel, and he came on for Santos, which was a shame because I think it would have been very interesting to see how that dynamic was going to work. But we had Caicedo on the pitch, and how good is, again, I believe Caicedo is one of the lads that just shouldn't go out on loan. He should stay, right? And I think yesterday backed that up as well. And the same goes for Santos, and it goes for Gabriel right now. Those three guys, out of the new ones that we've plucked out or we've bought or, you know, whatever, those three are the ones that I'm looking at and going, yeah, I don't want you to go on loan. Not now, no. Because they look too good. They look too good for their age and for the level that they're meant to be at. They're composed, they're calm, they're cool-blooded, they have execution, they have ability, they got skill, and they're so young. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I agree with what Poch has said in terms of we have to be careful. We are Chelsea, we want to win. It's not just about trying to get young players up. We need experience in this team, and hence why he wants to go into the transfer market. We do need the balance. But these young, skilled players are beyond skilled. Honestly, absolutely beyond skilled. So there's that. We had Humphreys come on later on for Malo Gusto, and Levi Colwell came off for Lewis Hall. Those were subs that didn't have much impact because Malo Gusto had a very good game as he did against Wrexham. Absolutely fantastic. We are definitely well covered if something happens to Reece James. And Levi Colwell had a very good game. And I think yesterday proved that his head is with Chelsea, not with Brighton. The only one time where you could debate that was when he gave away the penalty, which was reckless. Well, not reckless, but it was naive. To put your foot across like that, very difficult to get the ball. If he'd went in with his left foot, he might have cut across him and reached the ball, and it wouldn't have been a penalty. It would have been play on. Because if he managed to get the ball from that angle, then it's okay. But if you're going in with your right foot, on the outside, coming in, out, the ball is on the Brighton player's right leg. You're just not going to reach it. Player gets the contact, goes to the ground. And correct decision. So that little bit of naivety is okay. It's pre-season. This is where you want the mistakes to happen. So there's that. Overall, I'm very, very pleased. Conor Gallagher getting on the score sheet as well. Very, very well placed. He was in the right position, right place, right time. But again, we talk about the build-up and we talk about how we got the ball to that position in the first place. We have this ability to pass around players now in fantastic patterns. I noticed one in particular where there seems to be a combination of a 2 in the midfield with a 1 that's slightly behind, and then they interchange, they shift. One goes forward, the other 2 come back, one comes back, the other 2 go forward. And the pattern of play is for one of those midfielders to combine with the sit-in one, then those 2 run, and then boom. They bypass whatever opponent's midfielders are there to try and take the ball off you, and then you got 2 options. And we done that multiple times. Triangles. It was beautiful. I am in awe in just how fantastic Chelsea are moving the ball, and it's great to see. It's just we've been starved of this sort of stuff. We've been starved. We've gone through hell, fire, and brimstone to see Chelsea somewhat play decent again. And we are seeing it, and in such a short amount of time, Pochettino's got his footprint on this team already, and it's just the beginning. And even he isn't satisfied yet. So I can't wait to see where it goes. I really cannot wait to see where it's all going to go. I'm very much looking forward to it all. And at 4-1, that's where I was like, you know what, this is a battering. And then we go back to that point that I mentioned at the start. Maybe a little bit of naivety. Maybe we come off the gas a little bit. We concede the penalty, it's 4-2, and then later on, one action, and boom, it's 4-3 towards the end. So I think the scoreline, to be fair, like I said, Brighton did play well, so maybe this scoreline is a fair reflection, but I was desperate for us to destroy Brighton, and 4-1 would have done it. So there we are. Overall, I'm just very, 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 very happy. And I don't want to do disservice to anyone that I've not mentioned. So I'm going to look at the team now. The back four, Gusto, Thiago Silva, Colwell, Chilwell. Fantastic. Every single one of them. Again, except maybe maybe it's cohesion, maybe it's a bit of chemistry. If we're talking about Levi Colwell fitting into that, if we're talking about Malo Gusto fitting into that defensively, there's obviously some work to do, but that's fine. Conor Gallagher, fair play. And it's good to see that when there's quality around him, he's not so sloppy, which is nice. However, we'll see in terms of his future because that's still uncertain. Santos, like I've already mentioned, along with Caicedo and along with Angelo Gabriel, are just absolutely amazing. Sterling was a little bit off. If I'm going to pinpoint someone, it's probably going to be Sterling. I don't know if it's the right-hand side because he likes the left. He's played on the right enough times, to be honest, so I don't see that as an excuse. But yeah, if you had to pick someone, and he wasn't even a disaster, but he was the quietest. So there's that. Nkunku, great, absolutely great, getting into those positions. He's not even a 9. He's not even a 9, and he's looking more lethal than any striker that we've had in the past 1 or 2 years. And he's not even a striker. So there's that. And Ian Maatsen is that one guy that I honestly think we've unlocked something by playing him more forward. He's a left back, but now we're playing him as a left winger. He looks at home. He looks comfortable. So I'm really, really pleased. I'm really, really happy. The subs that came on, Mudryk, great impact. Beautiful movement. Great combinations with Jackson. Him and Jackson got something going on. And I think Mudryk under Pochettino could be something special. Wait and see what's going to happen this coming season. I'm very much looking to seeing what Mudryk's going to do. And Arsenal might end up eating their words because they mocked us for signing Mudryk and they laughed. Well, now people are starting to look at Kai Havertz skeptically. And people are starting to look at Mudryk and go, all right, we'll see where this one goes. So there's that. Cucurella, the usual, I would say. Not a disaster. Came on and done somewhat decent. On the offensive phase as well. Defensively, again, there are loopholes, and he does tend to leave some space, especially when he's getting overlapped. That's one weakness that Cucurella has. But going forward, definitely contributed. Fantastic. Trevor Chalobah, decent. Again, decent. Came on for Thiago Silva. Nothing to say there. Wasn't under much threat in the second half. Caicedo came on for Chukwuemeka. Chukwuemeka's looking comfortable as well. Chukwuemeka is looking like he is developing, slowly but surely. And he's getting better and better and better, bit by bit. It's going to be tough for him to break into the team because of the competition that he's got there. He's going to have to face Nkunku for the role that he plays in. So it's not easy. But he's proving a case, and fair play to him. On top of that, Enzo, we got to see Enzo. Enzo. We don't need to say anything. Angelo Gabriel, I've already covered. Nicolas Jackson, I've already covered. Bashir Humphries and Lewis Hall were the other ones. Not enough minutes, if I'm going to be completely honest, to judge. But Bashir Humphries didn't set a foot wrong. And for someone that's come basically straight from the academy, not much of a transition like a Lewis Hall, for example, who's had first team minutes in various competitions. Humphries has just been chucked in during pre-season. He's had one senior appearance, I think, last season. That was it. Under Frank Lampard. So, overall, Humphries, no mistakes. Fantastic. And same goes for Lewis Hall coming in for Levi Colwell towards the end. So, overall, I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very, very happy. Very happy at where this is going. And we look dangerous. If we can tighten up our defence, I think something special can happen this season. I really do. So let's wait and see what's going to happen. We've got Fulham, Newcastle, Dortmund. We'll see what we do in those games and how we're going to be shaping up as we gear up for the first Premier League game against Liverpool. So fingers crossed it's going to be a cracker. For us, not for Liverpool. But there we are. Let me know your thoughts down below in relation to Chelsea 4, Brighton 3. Manchester United played Arsenal last night, like I've already mentioned, and absolute chaos ensued in the stands, and Man United won 2-0. In terms of the Mount Havertz derby, if we're going to pay slight attention to that, nothing special there, which is great considering that we did get the amount of money that we did for them, and what we've been left with is looking absolutely outstanding. So I think so far we are very happy. Man United and Arsenal, maybe not. Maybe not. Anyway, talking about Manchester United and Arsenal, it absolutely kicked off amongst the Arsenal fans yesterday, and I don't know why. Why did this happen? Check this out. Someone jokingly said, what watching Havertz does too. And they're just having it out. Just complete complete bust-ups going on for about 2 minutes straight. It's just people trying to fling themselves over the rails. It's absolutely Arsenal fans fighting Arsenal fans. And you know what? They're not even Americans. You listen to when they're talking, they're English. Like, you went to the States to go and watch your team together and you fight each other. I prefer not to speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. Now, the big focus on yesterday's game wasn't just the game itself, but Caicedo. So what is going on as of Caicedo for today? Here it is. Talks are continuing between Chelsea and Brighton for Moises Caicedo, and Chelsea is expected to make a new offer soon. Brighton still value him at £100 million. The removal of Levi Colwill from the Caicedo equation will force Chelsea to significantly raise their offer if they are to convince Brighton to sell. Listen, 80 million, take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm expecting something to happen today, tomorrow, because everyone was there together. We even saw Poch and De Zerbi hug it out and have some words. I guarantee it was probably about Caicedo and Colwill. I guarantee it. Anyway, I hope that we're going to get a breakthrough. Fingers crossed. And look, Brighton just need to be realistic now. Be realistic. You're not getting Colwill. 100 million for a player that wants to actively leave your club. Just take 80. Or we can come to a compromise. 80 plus 10. 80 plus 5. Do a deal. Do a deal and let's get this over the line, please. Anyway, so that's the latest on Caicedo. We got good news coming else from Lazio. Check this out. Lazio are now in advanced talks to sign Callum Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea as negotiations are progressing well. There's a Premier League club also keen on signing him, but Lazio are now ahead. Considered good option by the player. More to follow. And we all know why. Maurizio Sarri. And that's it. Sarri likes Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi played his best football under Sarri when he was starting out before the ACL and all of that happened. So I think that this is very wise and it's probably a good move to make. So Lazio, I actually hope get the deal done, and I'd love to see what Hudson-Odoi does out in Lazio and in Serie A. I think it would suit him pretty well, and I think he'd find himself at home. So that would be very, very good for him and for Maurizio Sarri. And to wrap up, this. Understand Chelsea are now advancing in talks to sign Eli Wahi. Agreement getting close. New negotiations round scheduled with Montpellier. Chelsea plan includes loan move for Wahi this season. Then Chelsea future. Chelsea want to accelerate next week as there's competition. Interesting. This could be a case of going to Strasbourg, which we already spoke about. He's not really very keen on that, apparently. I understand that. Going from Montpellier to Strasbourg is a bit mad, but he will be a Chelsea player, and there is a scope to maybe try and incorporate him in a couple of seasons or whatnot. Who knows? So the striker situation at Chelsea is very interesting. Why? Because you got this that can happen in a couple of years, but Nicolas Jackson, do we need to go into the market if he keeps playing the way that he's playing? Do we actually have to? Maybe he becomes the guy. It's possible. It's very possible. I think he has all the attributes. So far, he has been flawless. Absolutely flawless, as the song goes. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Jackson's going to do, and I hope you guys are too. Let me know your thoughts down below in relation to everything that I've discussed, and the caveats of the Arsenal fans kicking off amongst themselves. Hilarious. And this striker situation, as well as Hudson-Odoi. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you tonight for video number 2. So make sure you guys are here for that. As always, if you are new, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you have enjoyed this, and I will see all of you later on. Thank you so much, people. Have a good one. See you tonight. Take care, and peace.